The other day, Karen Robertson and interviewed an American fellow called Nick, and he tried to excuse the appalling video which he put out about Ukraine and cars in Kyiv by saying this was satire. And there is a follow-up to this, which I think will come out in a few days' time. And Kaylin has been doing other things and is really doing sterling service. And so that's another matter. But in the meantime, I think it's very interesting because this issue of satire is used to excuse some of the foulest behavior that I think is going on the internet. Now, there's an argument which says I shouldn't indulge this, I shouldn't put this up. But if I don't, then it goes on unchecked and unmentioned, and the people who are doing it are not called out. So the other day, I put up a piece about the vile Isabel Oakeshott and her enabler, Mike Graham. I think that's what his name is. I think I'd met him before when he didn't seem to have a name. Now he's got a name and he's abused it. And this nudge, nudge, wink, wink approach to journalism is not appropriate. And there's a person called Katie Hopkins. I always get her name confused with the singer from the Eurovision, who I hope eclipses her in universal memory, because Katie Hopkins is a foul individual. Now, I actually remember Katie Hopkins ringing me in the middle of the night once because she thought wrongly that I was a friend of Alex Belfield or Nigel Farage, I forget which. And I don't know how she'd got my telephone number. And I was quite surprised and shocked to get her call. In fact, I think it was Alex Belfield that she was calling about. And she was expressing concern because I think she'd just been to see him. And yes, of course, I would express concern as well for anybody who's in prison. But she's put out a Twitter today which is so beneath contempt. First of all, I'm going to play it and then I'm going to comment on it.
Is Keir Starmer gay? Must be. Keir Starmer? Come on. I bet on it, wouldn't you? He seems gay, he looks gay, he dresses gay. His sort of outlook is gay. Staying in Lord Alley's apartment, it's a bit gay. Being there for a month and a half, quite gay. Probably gay. Must be gay. I mean, that's the rumour, I guess, Westminster rumour, and has been for the longest time. But I don't know the answer.
Then she starts linking Keir Starmer with another celebrity, and I'm not going to play you that bit, but I'll play you the end of her vile character bash.
Allegedly. Can we at least start that as a rumour? Can you print that, Daily Mirror? Can you? Katie Hopkins libels Keir Starmer as banging.
I think this is so crude.
It would be that way round. Would it? Who'd be doing who? I get the impression Phil would be receiving. Possibly one shouldn't speculate too far. How funny would that be? Cut to picture of coconut, palm tree, pan down.
And here is the comment. I do not think this is acceptable behaviour for... I don't think this is acceptable. I just don't think this is acceptable. And it's libelous. It's abhorrent. But it exposes a level of homophobia which I thought we'd got away from. I thought we'd grown up. I thought we'd got past that. And yesterday, Mike Graham was doing the same thing by talking about Lord Alley having a party and inviting Ian McKellen. As if that's some sort of totem. And this is the stuff of the Oscar Wilde trial. It needs to be stamped on so firmly, it needs to be exposed, it needs to be outed, and it needs to be talked about and ridiculed in its own way. The only way to deal with this is not to censor it, is not to silence it, but to expose it, and to call out these tittle-tattle rogues and villains for what they are. This is the clickbait. This is the nastiness. And these people are cheap. They're running around the place showing their underwear. In some cases stained. And is that what Britain has become? It's like looking at the old man in Father Ted. And that's what that's what Katie Hopkins, that's what Mick Graham and Isabel Oakeshott have become. They've become the old man in Father Ted. And they are disgusting. Because of the level of homophobia that they are implicitly promoting. And who cares about Keir Starmer's private life? That isn't the issue. The issue is the implicit homophobia. I sneer at Katie Hopkins as I do at Isabel Oakeshott and Mike Graham. And I will call them out. And I'm only too delighted and only too grateful that I didn't accept a job with Talk TV. I felt there was something iffy and off about it. I was right. Because this is the sort of scum that it attracts.